Good morning, you guys. Today I will be showing you how to make this very tasty, delicious, and completely easy and high protein breakfast. It is very high in protein. Did I say that already? Also, to just bust the myth that plant-based foods have to be very low in protein and people wondering, where do you get your protein? Oh my gosh, oh shame. No, I'm completely fine. If anything, I think this meal really filled me up, and as far as protein is concerned, I am not starving myself of it anywhere here. The protein is in the bread. Did you know that bread has protein? It's in the scramble and it's in the sausages. So if you're interested, please do keep on watching. Okay, lighting. Corrected. Big so.
1 mile in fog patches and showers early Friday, but improving to greater than 6 miles on Friday morning.
Stars shining bright above. Okay, that's it, guys. That is my tofu scramble.
Friday morning.
Stars shining bright above. Always all about the seasoning. So to make this omelette, you first need your aromatics. I always love adding aromatics to anything savory that I make, just because onion and garlic just really add a wonderful depth of flavor that I don't think you can get from any other vegetable, as well as my mushrooms. These are not just ordinary bell peppers, these are spicy. They're literally so chili. They taste like basically that a chili and a bell pepper had a baby, and this is what you get as a result. So I'll be adding those in as well, just to add some heat to my food, because you do know I like a kick. And obviously for our protein, more protein, we're going to be adding some chickpea flour and some baking powder to help leaven. Now we're going to fry off our vegetables. And now there's no order for this. I just out of habit like to add in my aromatics first, but we're all going to fry them in together at one point. There's not going to be fry this first and remove and fry this next. We're just going to put all our veggies inside, let them be merry, let them be acquainted to each other, introduce each other, and be happy in the pan. Next we're going to add in our butter, just to give it more of a breakfasty feel. I do love some butter in my breakfast. I do think that butter does make everything taste better. Obviously you can skip this step if you're, I don't know, a bit sensitive to that, and you can add water instead to deglaze your pan, or just stick to oil like I am doing now. But like I said, I'm gonna add butter because I like those things. So I will be adding in some rosemary, and that is half a teaspoon of rosemary as well as half a teaspoon of mixed herbs. Now the mixed herbs that I like to use particularly are the ones that are mixed with thyme, oregano and parsley. You can add in the generic mixed herbs that they sell at the shops, but they have mint as well, and I don't really want mint in my breakfast scramble. You can choose whatever you want. And some salt. I'm adding in 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm not adding in that much, but I am adding it in nonetheless, because remember guys, we have to salt at every stage. You have to salt your vegetables as well as salting your chickpea flour on its own as well. So basically the idea is that we want a nice brown color on our veggies. When it starts to get aromatic and we can smell our peppers and our onions doing the things, and our garlic and our herbs, then we know that our batter is ready to go in as well. Now to make this batter is very simple. It's kind of like a scramble, kind of, but instead of using eggs, we're using chickpea flour as our protein. So it is like a plant-based scramble. I will be calling this a breakfast scramble, just to make it easier and sound a bit more appetizing, because if I say a chickpea scramble, I don't know. Chickpea flour scramble, considering that many people don't even know what chickpea flour is, I'd rather just stick to a very easy to digest name, and that's what we're doing here. So you're going to be adding in 1/4 cup of chickpea flour, and as well as 2 tablespoons of flour and half a teaspoon of baking powder. The baking powder is to help leaven it because you do want to make it nice and fluffy, and to make it even more fluffier we will be adding in the juice of a quarter of a lemon. You can skip this step and use apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar or white red vinegar. It's really up to you, but like I said, the acid does help to make it a little bit more fluffier, and don't we like fluffy things? Anyway, I do want to add a point about the flour. So as you can see, I added in 2 extra tablespoons of ordinary flour as opposed to adding 2 extra tablespoons of chickpea flour to my batter. One of the reasons being that, well, my chickpea flour is finished anyway, but also had it not been finished, I would have still stuck to this step because chickpea flour does have a very earthy flavor, and if you're not used to it, not saying that I'm not, I am, but if you're not used to it or you prefer not to have it, then it is better to combine it with another type of flour, perhaps a denser kind of flour like the flour that I added. I just added in normal gluten flour. If you're gluten free, then you can opt to use something else like tapioca starch or rice flour, you know, whatever suits your fancy, to make this completely gluten free. Otherwise, I think adding in the flour does help to minimize that earthy flavor. In fact, you don't even taste it, especially with this wonderful medley of vegetables and the aromatics and the flavors and the spices. Then you don't really taste it, but it's up to you. Then after whisking it in, you're going to pour it over your vegetables like so. You basically kind of want to pour it over like a pancake, and don't worry if it doesn't cover everything. Ideally, you do want it to cover everything, but if it doesn't, you will make it work by force. You're going to see what I'm going to do. This is basically what I do when I make pancakes, because my pancakes are not always aesthetically pleasing. I won't lie to you, and this is why they don't always look aesthetically pleasing, because I do make them go around and round and round until it fits the whole pan. But the idea here is we want to cover all the vegetables, and the pancake mix can be imbued in the wonderful flavor that the vegetables have been cooked in. And then at first I wanted to make kind of like an omelette kind of situation, but then I changed my mind and I decided I'm going to break it up because I did want it in some pieces to eat it kind of like a scramble, like I said, a breakfast high protein scramble as I will be calling this video. But I decided to kind of do like a scramble, but not really, because the scrambles have bigger chunks, so a bigger chunk kind of scramble with bigger bits, so that we can still see the beautiful color that the vegetables have provided. And ta-da! This breakfast was so delicious, guys. You saw how easy it was. So easy. I just wanted to show you one of my easiest ways to get protein, and it kind of looks like eggs, kind of. If you add in some black salt, then there you have it. You actually have a plate of eggs in front of you. Otherwise, this is so delicious. I topped mine with some tahini and some hot sauce as well, just to make it a bit spicier, and I also topped it with extra chilies because I love chilies. I have fries, Asian spicy sausage on the side, and some high protein, high fiber toast from Sasco. Enjoy!